what's up, guys? Good morning. Leaving base camp right now. My zipper broke on my tent, so this is my makeshift. Not a lot in there. That thing is actually for sale. I would sell it, not the sluice box back there, but this thing right here. It's a mini high banker. It actually turns into a sluice box. I'm just hauling it around. I don't think I'll ever have any use for it. Got the gas. Got the motor oil for the pump that's been kind of funny. But I think we got that issue taken care of yesterday. Disconnecting that sensor. Well, if you guys seen the other video from the other day, you know that I have already connected this connection box, or this oil sensor switch right here. I went ahead and disconnected it. It's really actually pretty easy to do. 3 wires, just unplug 3 wires. Well, I didn't add much oil, but I can see it in there now. Well, I found out the scope on the suction hose and why it's such a big piece of crap. Well, it turns out this isn't actually dredge hose. I was talking to Ed, the dredger, yesterday. This hose is actually more flexible, but it's made for stuff like blowing insulation and stuff like that. Duct tape patches. Ed doesn't think I'm going to make it through the season with it, but hey, I just picked up another roll of duct tape this morning, Ed. Alright guys, well, I'm going to go ahead and pull the suction hose off real quick. That's one of the positive things, how many times I've had this hose off, is it now slides on and off back of the jet pretty easy. Alright, I'm going to pull the suction hose off, and then I'm going to pull the dredge upstream there, up above that tree. That took just right under an hour to get it all the way up there. It was pretty easy for this part, but then I had to drag around out here in that little bit of current channel. That was a little bit tough. We'll drag this hose up here. Hopefully I don't ruin it by dragging it. Duct tape will be the answer to fix that one. Well, we're making progress. That's all that matters. Hopefully we just make progress in the sluice box. I've decided that when I look in the indicator mat, and if I don't see what I want to see, I'm not going to clean the sluice box out every night. If I was in awesome gold, I would. But until I get an awesome gold, there's no point in cleaning the sluice box out for what I've been getting. I can run for 3, 4, 5 days punching holes, and I'll know when I get in the good stuff, that black mat will light up. I'm going to pick a 100-pound book bag and throw it out there, and I got a line to the tree up there. Put the dredge right out here by this rock. Today will be hole number 4, 4th day of dredging season. I found out that I guess dredging season on the Payette River doesn't start till June 30th to September 30th. So I was in the water a week early, and I was going to be in the water on June 1st. I would have been in the water on June 1st if the river would have allowed me to be. Well, Ed might be right. I might be buying a new piece of suction hose before the season's over. However, since I've already got money invested in this one, look at that. Another one. Well, I had about 7 more feet of suction hose than I did air hose, but we're starting to get pretty equally equated here. This is another 2-foot plus piece. That's the biggest piece that I've torn off the hose so far. But we've probably torn about 3 feet off of it, that's for sure. This stuff just isn't made for dredging. If I would have knew that, I definitely wouldn't have bought it. I just fired the dredge up. You can see it sits high without any material in it, but it goes right down as soon as you run it. And there he drops the box. First day running without the oil switch hooked up. What we're gonna do, I think it's gonna work just fine today. If I can ever get the dredge in the water without breaking any more hose. Man, that's a pain. Well, there she is. Ready to go. At least for a little while before the tailings pour over. I'll have a little bit of time before that happens. I'm just gonna work right along the edge here and clean up all the edge here, and I'm gonna throw off rocks and go as deep as I can, and maybe I'll hit a red powder layer. It's actually like an orangish layer more than it is red. Maybe I'll hit the black clay layer, and maybe I will hit absolutely nothing. Alright, well, letting the water heat up a little bit through the water heater. I'm gonna go put my gear on and get ready for a dive. Oh man, there goes my hose. Well, this motor still shut off on me a half of tank today, but I was up from a dive and I was actually fixing a plug up. These were the problem rocks. Actually, I think it was this one, then this one, or maybe this one, but two of them were stuck together down there, and finally ended up getting it. There's one decent flake of gold. Well, running the dredge, and I'm not even dredging. Well, this is my second hole. It will be. What I find interesting so far out of the sample holes that I have taken is that hole up there had absolutely no gold in it, pretty much like the hole that I just punched. This hole right here has an orange layer in it. It's more orange than it is red. I would say it's closer to a pumpkin. It's a bright orange color, and same with the hole down there. It had more of a, it actually had pay dirt in it. It wasn't great pay dirt, but I pulled about 2.5 grams out of all this. Over here, I see gold in the box, and there's not a lot in there, but the flakes are bigger. I've noticed that from this sample hole too. I've got a bigger piece of gold, but I haven't got a whole bunch of abundance, but I do see a bigger flake of gold. So sample hole number 2, I see in the indicator mat there's a flake, and it's a pretty decent sized flake. I mean, it's not a huge California flake. I would say it's a low coarse gray gold flake. Well, I just got done with my second dive for the day. Still having a little bit of issue with that pump. I don't know what's going on with it. There's no sensor plugged into it, so there should be no, as far as I know, that's the only sensor on it. I don't think there's a balance sensor on it. Well, this is where I'm parking the dredge tonight. I sampled 2 new holes a day. Just did a hole right out there. And that was crazy looking underneath the water. That rock is huge. And I did a hole up here. Oh, probably about 30-35 yards. And then I moved down. Same story, no gold. Oh, yeah, I'm calling it a day. I just drank my last bottle of water, so I need to go get some water tomorrow. Well, no gold today. I mean, there's a little bit in the box, but yeah, nothing great. I really want to get over to the other side of the river. I'm just not sure about how I'm going to go about doing that yet. It's still a little bit high. Higher than what I would like it to be to cross the river, but I don't know, guys. I'm going to think about the next step tonight, and we'll see what tomorrow brings.